Hello, ladies. I'm so glad you guys had the opportunity to come in. I wanted to introduce Brenda to Sandra because Brenda was once an internship student, and so Sandra, I know you had some questions for us. And because we're going to be talking over a couple of points, and you sent me some of your questions, I actually made copies for us so that we'd be able to stay on task. So I hope you don't mind that I gave you guys papers, and we can kind of make sure we cover those talking points. So, Sandra, why don't you start with the questions that you have for us?
Okay, well, my first question is how will I get placed in the internship? What place am I going to go to? How is that going to be decided?
Well, I'll start with how you apply for internship 1st.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that you apply the semester before you actually plan on participating in the internship process. You want to make sure that you contact me. I'm the program coordinator of the Human Services Management and Leadership program. So be sure to email me and let me know that you need that application the semester before.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get an opportunity to talk. I'll get an idea of what you're kind of interested in. And then Brenda, why don't you share with Sandra your experience of that first meeting a community-based organization?
Okay, well, my class and we had the opportunity to have a class meeting with staff members of several nonprofits, and we actually had to just come up with a couple of questions, and we had the opportunity to like go around the class and sit with each one of them and interview them and just get to know a little bit more about what they do, and from then you just decide what's your best fit. If you get lucky, like you actually connect with one of them, then you can just exchange information and then you go from there.
So I require students, in HSML 3000, you completed a resume and a cover letter. You remember doing that exercise? Well, you'll bring that resume with you to the interview and the orientation, and you dress for success, and then you get an opportunity to let me know which 2 internship sites you'd like to work with. And we make sure you make that connection before the semester begins.
And actually, I got my placement with Miss Gaitha Davis from City Hall. She was there, and I met with her, and she actually put me on the phone with Norma from District 6, and I was able to meet with her that same afternoon.
Okay.
And that's how I got it.
So we work really hard. It's important for you to have that application in, so I have an idea of what types of organizations to invite to the internship orientation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
How many hours are required?
Well, that's a really, really good question, because ideally in the degree program, you're required to complete at least 150 hours.
Okay.
But we are improving the program, so we have another course prefix that's already been designed for you to add on those hours. I know you were really interested in our national certification, the Human Services Board Certified Practitioner. And so one of the things you and I talked about is that you can take up to 300 hours in your internship placement. And by doing that, then you qualify for those national standards to take that exam, which we want all of our students to be certified nationally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I take an internship and capstone together at the same time?
You can, but Brenda, what do you think is the rule and why?
I initially wanted to take both, but now I'm glad that I did it. And Dr. Lacey talked to me about that because that would be it can be very hard and stressing. Just doing your internship by itself, it's kind of like, it just takes a lot of your time. I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it takes a lot of time and just commitment. So I think taking 2 classes, if you can, go for it and good luck. If you don't, well, also good for you.
Yeah. One of the things I realize is that students are really aspiring to get done quickly. They're looking at the end result, but sometimes they miss the importance of the process. And having internship separate from capstone gives them an opportunity to really bond or connect with their internship site supervisor, perhaps get job opportunities. We've had students that have been offered positions. It's also like a full-time job. So at least if you are going to do capstone and internship together, my recommendation is that you have no more than 9 hours to complete that semester. There are some students who have done 18 hours or 15 hours, however, they struggled. And life just happens. You'll notice I always say that life happens. And when you least expect it, it will happen. And it generally is when you're taking internship and capstone together. So my recommendation is no, but I allow students to have their appeal and they can make their case, and if it sounds reasonable and they're committed to that process, then I give them that opportunity. Very seldom.
I'm kind of interested on the internship. Do you have any recommendations as far as, for example, the place you were in? Either were there any dress codes, anything you had to worried about?
Really good points.
Well, it's always good to dress professionally, not only for you or because of the place that you're at, but you're also representing your school. So it's just always important to look nice and clean.
Dress for success. I always say that. Whatever you would do when you want to get a job, the outfit, it doesn't always have to be a white top and a black bottom, but it does need to be something that represents your desire to seek employment down the road, down the way. The other thing is that you are representing the school, so when you're on an internship site, it's as though you're in class. So the same rules and regulations and all of those apply to your site as well.
Plus, you just want to keep in mind that you don't know who you're going to bump into that day. So.
You mentioned being at City Hall. Did you ever run into the mayor?
Not him, but I did meet like important lawyers. And so, yeah.
City council members.
Oh, yeah. They're all in the office. I was introduced to a lot of them. So, you just don't know who you're going to bump into that day. So, just look nice and professional at all times.
I know you participated in the Community Engagement Day, and you dressed for success that day. Kind of talk about some of the internship or some of the potential internship sites, people you met through that Community Engagement Day. Do you remember that experience?
Well, a little bit. I do remember World Vision, and I do remember Kim Phillips. I can't remember the organization, but Kim Phillips was there also, and just there were a lot of things she shared that I kind of was like, yeah, you have a good point, So I think there were a couple of people that I did keep in mind.
Excellent. So if you participated in conferences such as Community Engagement Day, what you'll find is you've met some of those internship placements. Oh, okay. Really good opportunity for you to re-engage and reconnect with them during the orientation. One last question, and then we'll cut it off. I think one of the things I want to point out, and Brenda and Sandra, since you've taken classes with me before, how helpful is Blackboard Learn to you getting the information that you need, do you think?
It's just very flexible, especially I've worked all the time while in class, so when I'm not busy at work, I can just go online and I'm able to do some homework. So it's just always very flexible. Plus, you get to ask questions on there. Another student might ask a question and the teacher might have already replied to that. So you can always just go and on that discussion board, you can find many answers to questions that you might have. Plus, you get to see your grades. I love it.
Okay. What about you? What areas would you like to see would help you make an online experience with your internship really, really great?
I think I'm a visual person, so if there's a lot of videos and more connection with the students, because sometimes I'm the type of person that likes to get to know people, and if there's more interaction with the students, such as discussion for them to share a little bit about themselves, a chance to show up a video of who they are, pictures of who they are, then to me that will be something very important.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because one of the things we're going to require students to do, we're doing this audio visual, we're stepping up to the next plate, and so stepping up our game, if you will. And so one of the things we're going to have students do is record some of their interviews with their supervisors, such as when you get ready to do your exit interview, we're going to ask you, and you can use your smartphone or Vimeo, you can use your equipment, but to record that so that when you do your presentation, you have that recording online. Just in case a classmate misses your presentation, they can see how your interaction with your supervisor went online. So that's one of the things we're planning on incorporating.
That's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time. I so appreciate you guys stopping by the office and visiting with me, and I hope that this will be helpful for students down the road. You had some really good questions, and you gave some really good answers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, indeed.